World of compliance. I think it'll be overturned in the Supreme Court. It's the right thing to do. But help them also sell more cars.
Why are we doing that?
Like Russian roulette to them. A reactive business.
Disclosing to a customer.
Yeah. Giving that away free.
Lenders, brokers, and to some degree dealers.
And how this is going to affect them.
It will, is a different question.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
The overall impact on customers.
That's how it is.
To understand there's a consequence to your actions.
Didn't have one back then.
This is an opportunity. This is Jon.
And this is Nick.
And this is
How It Is. So, what's been going on in the world of compliance?
Nothing really. It's been really quiet.
So I think from filming this video now, around about 4 weeks ago, there's a little thing that happened in the Court of Appeal, excuse me, with a couple of lenders. Do you want to elaborate on it?
Yeah, so the Court of Appeal found that not only should commission have been the nature, existence and impact of commission should have been disclosed, which is what the FCA currently have in their source book. But the amount of commission should have been disclosed, and further to that the dealers had a fiduciary duty to the customer, which basically means just like a financial advisor or an executor of a will, that it should have been selfless and completely in the customer's interest, rather than a commercial transaction, unless that was made clear. So a bit of a shock to everyone.
Yeah, well, we could see, don't get me wrong, full disclosure's been there on the horizon for a long, long time, I personally, especially after reading Gough Square's kind of summary, Gough Square are like barristers, I think, and their summary of the court proceedings, I think it'll be overturned in the Supreme Court. Maybe not all, but
I think it'll be clarified in the Supreme Court. Some parts might be overturned, but ultimately the industry are going to move to full commission disclosure and dispelling that that fiduciary duty beforehand. So this will become the new standard.
You mentioned the word clarify. I think clarity is one thing that the FCA haven't given. I think like love them or hate them. They've been very woolly on and pretty poor on the handling of this whole situation. I don't know what your thoughts are. That's mine.
They've now come out to try and give a bit more detail on what's going to happen. But
we'll wait until what happens in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but they've been usurped by the courts. I guess if I'm not defending them, But look, I guess. What has been good is that industry have all pulled together, and sometimes self-regulation, especially when it's trying to go as far as it is, ultimately sets a new standard that everyone believes in. And I think what we've seen in the past is quite disjointed and fragmented approaches to compliance in general, to be honest. And aren't we having more engaging conversations now about what should be done for customers?
I definitely 100%. And you're right about pulling together. I think you sat on a round table not so long ago with a lot of brokers and things like that. It's been quite symbiotic, really, hasn't it? You know what I mean? With everybody working like that.
Yeah, I think one of the key concerns at the moment is obviously rightly lenders, brokers, and to some degree dealers are doing their own disclosures. And everyone's worked so hard to do
We've done one or two disclosures.
Everyone's worked hard to do, work on great customer journeys. But unfortunately, at the moment, because everyone's had to act very quickly, although everyone's collaborating on the messages, the customers often getting 3 disclosures, which I think is going to be confusing. And
absolutely.
So, what have we done to try and address it from the dealer side?
Well, our very own used to be called the Test Drive app, which is now rebranded as the Drive app. We've done a lot of work around that, but we're giving that away free to all dealers.
Why are we doing that?
Why not? I think free is good. That's what when people say to me, why are you doing it for free? Free is good. I like free. I think ultimately it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Our core business has always been the independent motor dealer. Also, what we understand is the independent motor dealer just wants to sell cars, and compliance, albeit isn't their forte. That's why we're here to help them. And if we can kind of make that journey compliant for them, but help them also sell more cars or sell it in a way that it speeds up the process for the customer and for them, I think our work here is done.
Yeah, and obviously the other side, I think, of that is, I think one of the key things we've struggled with, but we've tried to help with, is getting people on that first step into compliance.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good way for them to enter the world of the compliance guys, but also doing that first step. And maybe ourselves, the lenders, brokers, can then engage them in some of the other things that need doing, and show them that being compliant doesn't have to get in the way of business.
Absolutely not. It should be, it should make the customer more comfortable if they can see it's a compliant, open, honest, transparent journey. The IDD, or information notice as it's probably called, we have so many people ringing us up asking for one of those, just an off-the-shelf one.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as an off-the-shelf IDD. That's a simple fact. It has to be done for your business, what the products are and stuff. However, we've managed to get something across the line, especially with all the new wording, which is free to everyone. So I'm sure that somewhere in the social media, how it's going out there, that the link will be in the comment section.
I think the other part to that is, though, it's not about having a document. It's about disclosing to a customer and now getting the informed consent, to receive a commission on a disclosure. And if dealers can prove that that's been done, they're making themselves more secure, and the brokers and lenders. And I guess what I was saying before is that, I think what everyone now is going to have to work on is trying to make the amount from the lender, the amount from the broker, and the back to the dealer, try and make that a better journey. And that's what we're talking to people about now.
I've read some shocking, it's not stories, but people who are worried about what's going to happen to the industry and how this is going to affect them. Rightly so, but I personally can't see how the banks, or the lenders, I should say, can retrospectively go back and try and claim this money back. I just don't.
You mean from the dealers?
From the dealers.
Well, I think they can. Whether they will is a different question.
Yeah, because it would just be, I don't know, it'd be like Russian roulette to them. From a personal point of view, maybe they can. I don't see it. Well, I just don't see how it can happen. I think ultimately the consumer is going to pay. That's how it is. So rates will go up in some way, shape or form. There'll be one-off blanket commissions for whatever that lender is. But ultimately, that always trickles down to the consumer. So
I think there's been two levels to compliance. I think if you've been trying to comply with the rules as they were understood, you've got to have sympathy.
Yeah.
If you've just really not taken it seriously at all and try to just take customers' pants down proverbially, then there shouldn't be necessarily retribution, but people have to understand there's a consequence to your actions, and ignorance isn't really acceptable.
Don't get me wrong. If people haven't been doing what they were supposed to have been doing at that point, I mean, people by being car dealers. So I had somebody come to us with a FOS complaint, and the FOS were asking, can I see the IDD from this time? And that dealer's going, well, I didn't have one back then. I didn't need to.
The lender didn't ask me for one back then. I didn't know I was supposed to.
And here's the thing, and something which we've been saying, we've been going for like nearly 5 years now, 4.5 years. And we have said, give out this IDD right now. We've built this in. It'll be bespoke to you. We'll give out a privacy policy, not necessarily for now, but for those ambulance chasers 2, 3, 4 years down. It's 4.5 years down the line. Guess what? And unfortunately, the motor trade is a reactive business, and it's kind of like, I wish you kind of listened at the time. I kind of feel that when I say these dealers, because we can't sort stuff out retrospectively if they've never given that out.
But ultimately, the dealers have followed what the lenders and brokers have asked them to do, and we've been beating this drum for a while.
And then if the lenders or brokers then say, but now we're going to punish you for it, well, wait a minute, you didn't ask for that at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with that. So it's going to be an interesting.
I just think now's the time for people to take it all seriously, and that's not selfishly to us. There's other compliance companies. You can maybe do some of it yourself. Your lenders and brokers can help, but ultimately, let's no longer look at what's the minimum I can do. Let's see how much we can do. How open can we be with compliance? Because I do think this is an opportunity where, let's be honest, the motor finance industry, motor dealers are going to get pulled through the mud, but the reputation wasn't that good anyway.
Absolutely.
So maybe this is a time to wipe the slate clean and go, right, now's the point where we clean up everything.
But I don't think that's going to happen because of the mindset. I seen only last night on one of the groups that somebody said, oh, one way we can do this is just shut down this business and open up another one. Phoenixing, is that what they call it? Yeah, Phoenixing. And like the chances of that person getting another license would be so remote, or the difficulty in getting it, after just because the FCA are on to Phoenixing.
Yeah.
So
we see the questions
thing.
pop up about.
Yeah, all the time. And it's just you got if you've played by the rules, you should be okay. But ultimately, in my opinion, I think the consumer is the one who's going to pay for it.
Well, I think maybe that's where not necessarily the Supreme Court, but if the FCA look at what action is to be taken, and it was in Rachel Reeves' Mansion House speech on Thursday, that which was actually quite good, credit where it's due. They have to look at what is the overall impact on customers, because the bigger picture needs to be taken into consideration here.
Definitely. So what did we do was it last week? We went to AM Live?
It was, yeah. Always a good day.
It was a good day. It is a good day. I've seen God knows how many people. I don't know how
I think
many
that's the good thing. We catch up with so many people either we haven't seen for a while or we promised to chat to. And again, it's that collaboration event where people start talking about, moving things forward. And some of it is for business, but a lot of it is like the improvements you make to your business and your services that benefit everyone. It's quite inspiring. I do find it inspiring.
I enjoy it. It's a good day. It's a shame that it took me God knows how long to get back home from Birmingham. But hey, you've had it today. Yeah, you've had it today in the snow. And that's a wrap for this episode of How It Is.
Don't forget to like, share, comment on the video. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think it's generally the Compliance Guys UK. And visit our website, or you can contact us by email. Captions will be in the video.
And keep caring, not scaring.